Good morning and welcome to day 4, number 100. Sitting across from the man, the myth, the legend, all the way from Ohio. He braved the snow, the storm, and the ice to make it in studio for show number 100. It is Frank Scalish. Frank,
what is up, guys?
Welcome to Oklahoma.
This is so much fun. Yesterday I got in and got in kind of late in the afternoon because of all the weather and that I had coming in here.
Yeah. And
so we went out to eat. We weren't in a big hurry to do anything. We were talking about today's show, obviously. And Matt goes, "Hey, you want to go fishing?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I do." So we went out and we pounded on some giant crappies, dude. It was so much fun. I'm so excited about this show, and yet I'm so excited about after the show.
Yeah. I think your audio is good. Just make sure that you're talking into the mic like that. Oh. Sorry, I had to do that with Matt Looney yesterday. I was so excited. So literally this entire sheet that I have here is the giveaways, the promotions, the dates. We're going to have opportunities. What are these?
Color number 7s.
The back of this one says color number 7, first production. There are 8 original painted color number 7 signed and dated number 1 through 8, 6 first run color number 7s dated number 9 through 14. This is number 14. This is number 13.
13 and 14.
We're going to have one that we're going to give away during the show.
Yes.
And then we're going to have one that we're going to give away to a comment. We're going to give the listeners, the BTL Day 4 listeners who don't get a chance to listen live, and we'll get into all this stuff, a chance to win one of these based on a YouTube comment, kind of like we did when we gave away you gave away the one knockers and the hard knockers.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I have another set of BOOYAH hard knockers and one knockers to give away. 24 baits, $200 value.
You have another set?
Another set.
Okay, so we'll have to figure out how to give away that set. Then if you've watched day 4 over the past 100 episodes, there's all these maps that Frank has done.
So we have
one of them's a pinch point map,
and we got a main lake flat. We have another main lake flat.
Okay, well, this was bad planning because we never planned on how we were going to give away these.
Oh yeah, we did.
We're going to do
random pick.
Oh, that was it.
Every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes, but we got to save one of those for the other listeners too. So we'll do 2 winners from the. Like I said, we'll explain all that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I just can't leave out the guys that are.
No, we can't leave out the people
that aren't able to get on. Speaking of jumping on, like I said, I'm still working on being able to hear the audio, but we got multiple guests today. Our first guest, though, let's bring him in right now. It's Frankie. It's Frankie Jr. What's up, dude? How are you?
Good, man. Just sitting here at work, hanging out.
Well, don't get fired.
I won't.
All right. Okay. Well, we wanted to jump on. Obviously, you, now half of the Scalish family's been in studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not this studio, though.
Not this studio.
Just you.
My studio.
Frank, I feel kind of bad. Like I said, we went out yesterday and Frank got on a 207 for his first one. And I was like, dude, I'm not sure if Junior believes me. He's like, oh, he believed you. But I said, do you like it? Your dad goes, I don't like it. I'm obsessed with it.
Good. Oh my God. That stupid forward-facing sonar is so addicting.
Yeah.
It's wrong on a lot of levels.
Especially when you get on a bunch of smallies doing that same thing. It's a nut bust, man. It's fun.
Well, I know you weren't originally able to get on, but you're able to jump on for a couple minutes. Wish your dad a happy 100th show. So appreciate you kind of monitoring the message, the instant feedback board over the past 100 episodes. You're always on there answering questions and taking care of the business at hand while we do the show. So much appreciated.
Oh, and
Junior.
hey,
you gotta help the old man where you can.
No family member could win a prize. So you're out.
That's fine. You're out of town, and I got a key to your house, so.
Yeah, that's kind of brutal. That's absolutely brutal.
All right, I know. Like I said, I know you're in a little bit of a jam right now, but wanted to jump on real quick. So, anything else before we let you get back to the business at hand?
Dude, 100. Congrats, man.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you.
Go catch a couple big crappies for me. You know, make sure you take a video of Matt catching one so I can believe it.
We're gonna GoPro it.
Oh, yeah, you got to.
We're gonna do. I think I've got them. Yeah, I got the GoPros right here. We're gonna strap a GoPro on the vessel today and just let it run for 8 hours.
Let it run.
It's gonna be an absolute blast.
I'm super jealous, man.
You should be.
I am. I'll trade you. You come sit in this box truck and I'll go fishing.
Steak and eggs this morning.
Oh yeah, I got steak and eggs. Dude, I was taken care of.
Man. Must be nice.
Yep. All right, Frankie.
All right, boys.
Back to work. Dude. See ya. All right, that was Frank Jr. So that means that we've had Josh and
Rose,
Frankie on the show.
Yeah, we got to get Rose and Noah on the show one time.
Okay, yeah, we can get them on the show.
It'll be fun.
Speaking of other people on the show, I've never met this guy because he actually did the show when I was away fishing the opens.
That's right.
And I don't know his last name, so I'm just saying Todd the prop guy is gonna.
His last name is Bucknell.
Oh, really? That's a cool last name.
It's a great last name.
Let me write that down.
It's not as good as Scalish, but it's up there.
Todd Bucknell, the prop guy.
Yeah.
Kind of famous.
Hydromotive engineering.
He'll be on the show, and then Jeffries is going to jump on from the classroom. So all sorts of people not getting work done today.
We got Mark. He's going to be like, okay, class, here's a math problem, which is going to be totally unsolvable. And then he's going to put it up on the board. He goes, I'll be back in 15 minutes. Let's see if you guys got the answer right. And then he'll have an excuse to leave the class.
All right. Let's set the scene again. Here we go. So during the show today, I have all of the comments, even if I'm not posting them. If you're leaving a comment on YouTube or on the Bass Zone website, I'm seeing all of these comments.
Right.
I will put them up as the show kind of progresses. Comments, questions, funny stuff, anything. And at the end of the show, Frank is going to pick one of those comments
for the Color 7.
For the first production signed Color 7. It actually on the bottom, like this says number 14 FAS Frank Scalish 12/23/22.
Correct.
Which is one of the first productions. And then every 15 minutes, I'm gonna if you're leaving a comment in the comments, I'm just scrolling up and down, and I'm gonna stop randomly on one and give away a map.
Exactly. So if you win the map, we'll announce your name. If you win the map, send your address.
Yeah, I'll just have them email me. Let's do it. Let's give away a map right now. We're 8 minutes in. Want to give away one for the first 15? All right. I'm randomly scrolling right now. What map was this?
Main Lake points. Grass fishing.
All right. Well, let's do just a little refresher course on the Main Lake Points grass fishing before we give it away. We got to give away some information, some juice in this episode, Frank. You need a pointer? I
have a pointer.
You have a pointer.
I don't know if you could see the map.
Yeah, we can. Let me turn my ring light down a little. That's gonna help it pop. It looks good, Frank.
All right. So this particular map here, I'm showing some high percentage areas. We got some in steeper grass beds. We got some inside swings over here and over here. We got scattered grass on top next to deep water channel. Looks to me like this probably this could play in the spring, but it could also play late in the winter. This stuff. This is the kind of stuff I look for when I'm throwing my jerk baits and mobster swim jigs in the winter on the main lake. This is what I'm looking for right here.
Just a quick update. The ingenuity of people is amazing. I said I would randomly scroll, so we have some people that are just putting one letter over and over again, so they have more comments up. If it happens to be an ineligible message, I'm picking someone else. If someone's just going MMMMM or whatever, I mean, hey, I appreciate it. That's a fantastic.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. But it's got to be like an actual.
It has to be actual.
An intelligent conversation. So,
right.
Do you remember what show that was from? Was that from a jerkbait show or?
I honestly don't remember. I'd have to scroll through and look. I'm looking at the map, and judging by what I'm seeing here, it's probably a jerkbait show. But this could play in the spring too.
All right. And then you will autograph that.
I will autograph it.
I'm not going to lie, folks. How many do you have over there now? 3 or 4?
I have 4 here.
Yeah, he brought 5. But and I picked one for the studio that he's going to sign, and I'm going to put it in the studio.
Matt pilfered.
I did.
He pilfered one. Boys
it is. So that's that one. So I'm going to scroll. I mean, dude, I'm going all the way back up to the top. I'm going all the way down to the bottom. I'm scrolling. You just tell me when to stop scrolling, Uncle Frank. And I'm
stop.
Right here.
Right
there.
Just
showing it. TP Parker. He said those look so sick. I'm assuming when he talked about that, he was talking about the color number 7. TP Parker, random scroll winner.
Random scroll winner.
Show that map one more time, Frank.
Mainland Flats.
That's awesome.
Main Lake Flats.
That's awesome. TP, send an email, matt@basszone.com with your name and contact info. And as long as you are subscribed to the BTL YouTube channel,
you're in.
Yeah, I'll send it to Frank, and then Frank will send it to you.
Perfect.
So we're going to do that. So put that one aside. I need to make a list. Hold on.
That's all right.
Paper in my desk here.
Here, let me put his name on the back of this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's Uncle Frank's writing, so that makes it even cooler.
TP
Parker.
Okay, dude. This is yours, buddy. You got it.
All right. Speaking of Todd the prop guy, wishing you happy 100. Is he cool with Todd the prop guy, or would he prefer cool Mr. Buck?
Hey, we'll call him whatever we want. It's our
bring
show.
Him in.
Bring
him in now for show number 100. Todd, welcome to BTL show number 100. Thanks for jumping on.
Good morning, guys, and congratulations, Frank, on the 100th episode.
You are so damn professional.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. How are you doing?
We're doing good. A little chilly up here in Cleveland, but par for the course.
Oh, yeah. Well, I brought it down with me here. It followed me the whole way, or I drove into it.
Yeah, shut the freezer door, would you please?
Yeah, exactly.
What do we got going on in your world, Todd? I'm assuming there's not much prop testing going on in the end of January.
No, there's not, Matt, but we do spend a lot of time with R&D and trying to build inventory up and get the new products out when we can. Frank and I have been out in December. End of December, anytime we can, we get out there, but yeah, it is a little bit slow now. So we're just working on getting the new line and inventory built up for springtime.
Well, don't we have a small surprise?
We do have a small surprise.
Oh, I'm completely unaware of this.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we have a small
But this
surprise.
is not a giveaway. This is a show and tell.
Okay.
It is. And Frank and I worked pretty hard on this. I'm sure Frank will chime in with what we kind of switch gears to. But normally, Matt, we're thought of the high performance, go fast boats, whether it be bass boats or big offshore boats. But we wanted to come out and get something to the market for the rough water, Great Lakes fishing guys that have an opportunity to catch fish out there when it's big water and they need a different tool to complete the job. So with that being said, give me 1 second here.
Ooh, we have a visual.
We do have a visual.
Wow. How many blades are on that thing?
That is a 5-blade. And this is going to be called our RWS, our Rough Water Series. All the testing was done on Frank's boat. This is going to be the majority of boats, man, in that 65 to 75 mile an hour range with their normal setup. But when you're out there in big water, you're not going to be going 65 to 70 miles an hour.
Right.
So this is a first gear, keep the nose up, keep you dry, and have the acceleration and very low on plane speed, 11, 12 miles an hour, and be able to put the boat wherever you want it. And I'll let Frank comment on that a little bit more.
Right. So we designed several of these things. We got the prototypes in, we took them out and started testing them. This particular prototype is going to be the deal. So I called one afternoon. It was getting late, and it was cold. I mean, it was the end of summer. It was cold out. I got a weather forecast. They said the lake was going to be 4 to 5 footers, building to 6 to 8s. So I called Todd. I said, get your butt over here. And we got to test these props. So get your butt over here and we'll go to the lake, but don't be too late, because if you're too late, we're going to be in, 6 to 8 footers. And I don't want to test this thing in those waves. I'd rather test it in 4 to 5s where it's manageable. So of course, as everything goes in the world of, prop testing, nothing goes according to plan. He was a little bit late. We got there. The lake was a little sloppier than I wanted, but we actually wound up, it turned out perfect, because this prop performed so much better than I anticipated that the extra wave size was actually a blessing, because I got to really put it through its tests. And it performed so good. It literally gets on plane with just a touch of the throttle, and you can put the nose of the boat anywhere you want it and drive it as aggressively or non-aggressively as you want it to. And so it turned out to be, it's one of the best 5-blade props I've ever run in my life. It's so responsive.
All right, Todd and Frank, basic question here, but you have to remember, from the South, we don't see a lot of 5 blades. A lot of us don't see 4 blades because we're trying to get 80 miles an hour as fast as we can to, pick it up. But Sean would like to know, so why is a 5-blade better in the big water? Basic question, but valid question, right?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead, Frank.
No, you go.
The 5 blades is just, the more blades you have to push, Matt and Frank, and the caller that had the question, the more you're going to hook up. So picture studded snow tires or a real aggressive grip on a tire. That's going to be the same with the 5 blade. Now, when you go to a 5 blade, there's certain applications and things you have to remember. You can't have the same diameter. You can't have the same blade area, because then you can have too much bite and bog down the power curve of the motor, so you're not getting the throttle response that you need. So this is going to be 13 3/4 inch, smaller than what most guys are running at 14 to 15 inches. And it's going to spool up quick and bite the water. Whatever you can throw at it, it's going to stay hooked up. Put it to you that way.
Basically, more traction.
That's it. More traction.
Right. And here's the key, with almost no slippage.
Yeah.
So you're constantly moving forward, even at a super low RPM when you're climbing up a wall.
So that's like when I was out on Ontario and I was like, boy, I hope I get over this thing and don't go back down the end like a cork.
Exactly.
And then your motor goes, and it is not, this is what allows you to just, it's like low gear. It's just, right. You're just plowing.
Think of it as a big sprocket on a dirt bike.
I gotcha. Other question on the instant feedback that I saw is that thing's got to be pretty heavy, doesn't it?
No. Actually, it's probably less weight than a 3-blade Fury, for example, because of the smaller diameter and the tube size, man. It's not a full through hub. It's an over through hub. So some of the exhaust goes over the prop and some of it comes through. So lightweight and won't be as heavy as a 3-blade Fury, for example.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Show it one more time.
It's very impressive.
Oh.
Don't drop it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then on the backside here, man, I don't know if they can see that.
Yep.
Right here. For that is an exhaust ring. So what we do is we put that aluminum ring on, and for the boats that don't need any exhaust coming over through the lower unit to the prop, we put this on to stop the bubbles from coming over the propeller to make sure that it stays hooked up.
Can you go in reverse with that prop?
Absolutely.
Oh, someone said on here, I said 5s are great, but no reverse.
Well, you have a reverse, but it's slower in reacting.
Okay.
Because of the blade area. So you have to keep that in mind. But you definitely have reverse.
Oh yeah, without question. And the main thing is, Matt, for the potential people that would take advantage of something like this, it's going to be a day where you're never going to see over 50 or 60 miles an hour, whatever your boat is capable of,
right,
because of the conditions. So this is a condition purposeful prop to make sure that you're able to stay dry, put the boat where you want it when you're out there fishing 3, 4, 5s on the Great Lakes.
Right. I mean, it's called a rough water prop just for that reason. And the reality of it is like, we talk a lot about the Great Lakes, obviously, because I live on Lake Erie, but the reality of it is Rayburn, Champlain, Oneida, Toledo Bend, any of your big giant reservoirs that have capabilities of producing 6+ footers. This is what you want. So when you see like I carry that as my spare, basically.
Okay.
So when I see the weather forecast and it's going to blow like a hurricane and I'm on a body of water that has potentially to get large waves, I just slap the prop on the 5-blade and run it, because here at the end of the day with that 5-blade, I think my boat and I run heavy. My top end on the 5-blades right around 60, 61 miles an hour, but that's not what that 5-blade is for. I have my 4-blade for that, for the speed end of it. That 5-blade is specifically for big water handling. So I can take my bass boat, tuck the motor down, and I can literally run on plane in 3 footers and not beat my brains out. And then if I get into big waves where I got to climb mountains of water, I know that I'm going to be able to handle the boat and make it go anywhere I need it to go when I'm fighting those waves.
And literally, Matt, we spent probably 2 or 3 different prototypes with Frank working on blade design and blade style. The more round or elephant ear style the blade could be on certain props, that tends to raise the bow. When you're in rough water, we don't want to raise the bow to get the boat out of control. So we want to carry the boat with a very level attitude and let the V and the keel of the boat do the work for you, but staying dry at the same time. So we spent a lot of time on the blade style, cup configuration to make sure that the boat's level to give you the best ride as possible in rough water.
I'm pretty sure that's the first time level attitude and Frank Scalish have been in the same sentence together. Hey, this is a day dinking, which is a great name. We'll play on words there. We're not going to do any day drinking today, are we, Frank? He wants to know, does a 5-blade prop put extra stress on the lower unit, i.e. gears and shaft?
No. And Mercury puts 5 blades on the same prop shafts that most of the outboards are running for their bigger boats now. If anything, some people would probably tell you, Matt, that it evens out the load of the prop because there's more blades pushing the water, and it can be actually smoother to run on the lower unit. With that being said, there's people out there that could ruin their lower unit with a 2-blade prop, 3-blade prop, or 4-blade prop. So, anybody can beat anything to heck. But no, the answer is it's not going to have any ill effect on the lower unit whatsoever.
All right. You got anything else? Because I got one more thing that I want to do because I remember this. You did this, I believe, in the previous show, but we're all about education here on day 4, along with apparently just giving away bukus of things. But Jamie Juice Newton wants to know, can you explain again, and I think you did this on the prop show, the proper way to climb in concert with the throttle and your RPMs?
Okay, so
good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a valid question.
Okay.
Okay, so this is going to be the craziest thing in the world, but you have to dance with the water. And what I mean by that is you see the waves that are coming at you, across from you, or whatever direction they're coming from. It's almost like if you were skiing the moguls downhill. You pick the path of least resistance, all right? And when you keep your forward progress going to the point where you're not flying over waves out of control, because the last thing you want to do is launch off of one, nosedive down into the other one. So as long as your attitude of the boat is at an angle, okay, you can sashay all over the water any way you want to go. Generally speaking, you're not trying to run 35 or 40 miles an hour in anything over 6 feet. You can't do it. Mm-hmm. Well, you can do it
unless you're Darren Schwinkback,
right? Unless you're shipwrecked, and then you can do it. But you can do it, but it's not. You're going to break all your stuff apart. Okay. But this prop, you throttle into the wave so you're comfortable and you get a cadence going. So you can take your boat and your nose might be going tacking over to the left, get to the top, and realize that it's smoother to the right, and you can swing your nose around and take that path and swing your nose around and take the other path. It's all smooth. Nothing is knee-jerk. Nothing is fast reactionary. It's slow and steady wins the race. And generally speaking, like in Buffalo, when I was in those Mugambo-sized waves, they were big enough for me to actually put my boat on plane and tack down the sides of them at 50 miles an hour. And then I would come up the other side and start slowing the throttle way down. So when I got up to the top of the wave, I was barely creeping, see what direction I needed to go, and then do it again. So it's all predicated on what the waves are telling you and stuff like that. Now, if you got waves that are tight and compact and you're talking about 3-footers, there are times where you can get up and you could actually run across the tops of them, as long as the span isn't so wide that when you hit the wave in front of you, your nose doesn't want to drop. You keep it level. As long as your nose doesn't want to dip, you could run across the tops of them. Now, guys, this is all experience. And so you're going to have to experiment with this in rough water. I don't recommend you picking a day, that's gale warnings outside and going to do this.
Make sure people know what's up. Maybe have a buddy out there.
Exactly. Always take safety into account.
We definitely did get the Next Day 4 shirt. I picked up on it. I wrote it down. It's just going to have the little Day 4 logo, and it's just going to say Dance with the Water.
And we're just going to have a little silhouette of a 5-blade prop.
Dance with the water.
Dance with the water. Dances with wolf.
I feel like dances with water.
Dances with water.
Wolf on one side, prop on the other. I feel like you missed your calling. Have you ever surfed?
I never surfed.
The way you can read and understand water. And
I can't. No, I never surfed. I'm not that coordinated. Now I downhill skied. I did the moguls, but I can't surf.
What else we got? Todd, Frank. Like I said, we could do a whole nother show, but I wanted to try to get little portions of some of the best of the Day 4s over the last 100 in, and this was definitely one of the most educational.
Sorry, Matt. I will say this to the other question as far as how many RPM should he be running as far as up the waves. That's all going to determine boat size of the water per that particular day. But the one thing to keep in mind is now with no slip, you're going to see less RPMs and more throttle response. So before, if he was climbing a wave, if he went to 2,800, let's just say to throw out a number, that prop isn't really hooking up that well. So he might drop an RPM, but he'll have way more bite. So he could find himself at a lower RPM, but with that first gear acceleration to put him wherever that nose of the boat needs to be.
Right. Because you're always moving forward with that prop.
Correct. You're not sitting still or falling back.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. A lot of times, like I know a lot of guys that'll run their 3 blades on the big lake and they blow the props out. The props lose grip. They slip. Wow. And they're not going anywhere. This prop bites. That boat's continually moving forward. You never lose ground with it. And you're always able to control the boat. If your prop starts to blow out when you're coming up, your wave is going to start pushing you backwards to some degree, and you have to get your RPMs way high to get more hookup on that. And what happens is that's when you see guys going over waves and they're going, wow, doing all that nonsense. It's because they're fighting the slip. Their RPMs are too high. When the prop grabs, they launch, and it's maddening.
Yeah. It's maddening. the way that you got to look at it is, some days you just don't need to go out, even if you've got a 5-blade prop or a 4-blade prop, or you've got everything dialed in. There's just days that you don't need to be out there. But if you are going to be out there, it's also like skydiving. You're not going to jump out of the plane, without knowing that the parachute's packed correctly. So it's not like you're just going to throw it on and go out into the gale force winds. Like, this is all within reason and common sense and safety here. But there's a way that you can be safety. This increases the safety. Absolutely. It increases, and there's always going to be an inherent risk regardless of what you're doing. Safety, enjoyment, ride, comfort, longevity, boat, everything. I don't ever like here's the deal. All the inclement weather that I get caught in on the Great Lakes,
is because I'm way offshore and something comes in.
Yeah, you never go out and plan, hey, let's get
Right.
some sketchy stuff today.
Right. Well, except for when we tested this thing.
Well,
Yeah, I was
I
going to
know.
say that. Yeah.
I
A little
mean, like,
disclaimer on that one. I
when
have been
most
surfing
people
in
on
Matt's
the
boat.
water. Most people on the water, you're
Right.
like, you know, like when I got stuck on Texoma in 5-footers, it was like, what's that noise? Oh, I'm in a marina and it's the top of the sailboats just getting trashed by this wind. So I come out and I'm like, dude,
We're in trouble.
we're in trouble.
Right.
And then when the helicopter for pontoon boats photographs is over you because you're the only boat on the lake and he's hovering over you and you're like, is my motor about to explode? And the
Right.
kid next to you is like, no, there's a helicopter taking pictures of us. That's when you know you're in a pickle.
Right. Exactly. But see, that's what I say. Like there were times on Champlain where they were calling for terrible, terrible weather. And I throw the 5-blade on. And then I fished the whole event with the 5-blade. And the weather, the one day never came in. And the lake was slick, flat, calm. And so, you know, I lost some miles an hour on top end, but it didn't matter to me because if the weather did come in, I'm prepared for it. And so that's kind of how I play it. You know, whenever I go on Lake Erie, I run the 5. I don't care if it's going to be slick flat. I run the 5 because you never know.
All right, Todd, you got anything else?
Well, being that it's a 100 show, I don't know if I should tell all the Frank stories, but I have been surfing in his boat sometimes. But no, I'm just glad to be here, glad to be on again with you guys, and happy to be a part of it.
Greatly appreciate it, Todd. Always. If people want to get in contact with you, information, you have that, Frank, there?
I have it.
Do you want people to get in contact with you? I warned guests about that. Like if you start giving out names, numbers, email addresses, you will get emails. So whatever you think, or what's the best place that people can go if they want to get in contact with you to get their hands on any of that stuff?
I'll let you handle that one, Todd.
No problem. They can go to hydromotive.com and the phone numbers are there, and they can reach me 9 to 5 during the week, anytime.
Call them and say, hey, I'd like to talk to Todd, the prop guy.
We can handle it.
All right. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, guys. Be good.
I'll see you, bud.
All right. That was Todd Bucknell. Great prop show. And oh my gosh, look, he just jumped into the queue.
I can't see all.
You know what? I think we bring in the man, and he can, while I scroll through the comments, he can tell me when to stop because it is time to give away another one-of-a-kind custom Frank Scalish drawing. Now, we had Frankie in from I think work, possibly. Yeah. I'm not sure. We had Todd in from work, and now we have the man. It is the man, Mark Jeffries, in from school.
Hey, give it up. Let him hear. Come on. Noise.
Oh, you got the class with you. That's fantastic.
That is Mark Jeffries. You have a Kevin Van Dam Win My Boat poster in your classroom.
I do. And a Michael Jordan poster. And then I've got Gerald Swindle over here, too.
Outstanding.
That's the most time Gerald spent in school. All right, it is time to give away another. Then we'll get to the day 4 and the concept. But I am scrolling through. There's Mark. We got almost 600 people. And guys, if you are watching this show, go to on the YouTube page, not in the comments. Hit the thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm. That gets it to more people. That just helps everything. So hit the thumbs up button on this. And what we're doing, I didn't know we were doing this. So I assume this is the best way to do it. I'm randomly, using the wheel scroll, and I'm scrolling through these, and then literally thousands of comments.
And then I just yell stop.
And then, I'm going to have Mark say stop, and then whoever we stop on, as long as they're subscribed to the BTL YouTube channel, they get a one-of-a-kind Frank Scalish drawing that has been featured in day 4. The next drawing up for giveaway right now. Frank, here's the cursor. Explain what it is.
Okay, we're looking at a pinch point where we have 2 structural elements pinching down. And this is where the bass will stage in wintertime areas.
Okay. That's good. We got to give it away because we got to get to Mark too. We'll go back to this. All right, Mark, scroll. Tell me when to stop. I'm literally scrolling. So give it however, and then just in your best Mark Jeffries voice, tell me.
All right, stop.
It is Mark Baran, Baran. He said, Todd's awesome. He's helped me out. Great dude. Mark, you have won the second one-of-a-kind autograph Frank Scalish drawing. You got the pen over there?
Yeah, Barran.
Baran. Email me, matt@bassone.com. We'll give your contact info. All right, Mark. One of the things that you're really good at is creating people and things that don't exist. I've got, Drunkwood over here has, well, it's true. He's got, look at, what does that say? It says live, laugh, dink, and dunk. You created the dink and dunk for me, which I took as an insult at first, and I've taken it. Harold, the legend, Allen. Now, Frank was already Frank. He was just doing things a little bit more under the radar. You were still full-time in the industry, designing things, had classic winning baits and all sorts of stuff. But when it comes to the day 4, what was it, the mad scientist, that made you say, hey, I want Frank Scalish to be a part of this BTL thing?
Well, Frank and I go way back. And when we were out there covering the Elite Series, Frank and I had quite a few numerous conversations about so many things that were taking place, not just in the bass fishing world, but in the world in general. And, there was a period of time when you and I were doing the show. It was trying to come up with creative stuff that did the 3 E's. And I'm going back to the 3 E's. But I really thought that adding the Frank element to what you and I were doing was going to make us better and keep us ahead of what everybody else was doing out there. And the insight and the knowledge and the creativeness that Frank has, not just as an angler and as a lure maker, but Frank's a pretty entertaining dude. And some of the stories that Frank shared with me in the early years of our friendship were just epic. And Matt, hopefully you remember when we were sitting around the studio and we were thinking about how we were going to get better. And I came up with the idea. I was like, man, I think we need to get Frank involved. And it was after a day that Frank was a guest on BTL. And that's when the wheels started spinning. And I thought, man, we need to somehow, some way integrate Frank into the show. And when that happened, I called him. We talked about it. He's like, oh, yeah, I could kind of roll with that. And look at the monster that's been created after a little creativeness between you and I, Matt, trying to make BTL better. But 100 shows. Congratulations, Frank. And I really think it's cool that you became part of BTL and became part of what the BTL fans want on a weekly basis. And I just had a small part to do with it, man. I just thought of it. That was it. It's all you, dude.
No, dude, you gave me this opportunity, and I thank you immensely for it. It's been a very fun part of my life, and I really thank you for that.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. All right, students. All right. See, I'm in my finance class.
You're actually in class right now.
All right.
We're going to get 2 people fired today.
What is the most important thing about finance? The B word. What is the B word? Behavior. Louder. Behavior. Can you hear that?
They said behavior.
Yeah.
Boy, you really don't have them very enthusiastic, Mark. I'm not going to lie. I feel like you're really pulling teeth here. You're really pulling teeth.
One more time. What's the most important thing when it comes to personal finance?
Quit trying to force fun.
Right,
now you're yelling at him. You can't force fun, Mark.
That's how I roll.
Oh, that's fantastic. Hey,
all right. But you actually are like in class.
Yeah.
You look great. The hair looks great.
No hat.
Everything looks fantastic. It is kind of weird to see an Adidas logo. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
I feel like that's might be against your BTL morals.
Well, we are an Adidas school, so
I know. What else you guys got? I know you got to get back to teaching, but I knew you said you could jump on when you had a few minutes.
No, thanks, Frank. Hey, real quick, Frank and I we're really good friends, and we've had massive conversations in the past. He's like a brother to me, but I am really proud of the level that you've taken this whole day 4 thing. And for your 100th show, it's quite impressive. And hopefully we can get 100, 200 more out of you, Frank. And hopefully the BTL fans will continue to enjoy what is Uncle Frank. Now, I have one question, Matt. I haven't seen the studio since I was over there that one time. What is that shirt that's hanging up over Frank?
That is the Assumption Bass Club's Illinois Bass Federation shirt that I got in 1998 when I went to the Classic and had every single Classic competitor from 1998 sign it.
That's pretty cool.
Scott Martin, Roland Martin, Jimmy Houston, Rick Clunn, Davey Height, Kevin Van Dam, Skeet Reese, Denny Brower. I mean, it's everyone's on there. Like, look at that shirt.
I did.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
So my dad actually, it was just sitting in a closet at my house, like on a hanger, and my dad was like, "Dude, this isn't right." And when I started to do the studio, I got a package, and I was like, "I'm not expecting a package."
Right, and then you get that.
And then I picked it up and saw how much tape was on it, and I was like, "This has to be for my dad."
Right.
And then 30 minutes later, when I get it open, he had put it in a frame for me.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that is awesome. Now, one last question for both of you. Are you guys coming to watch a little basketball Friday night?
That's up to Frank.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Why do you not want us there tonight, Mark? That's the real
No, you
question.
can.
We can.
I told you can. I just think Friday night's going to be a better game than.
All right. Do we need to get tickets, or will you leave us a couple?
Yeah.
You
just call me. Call me
just
when
hanging up on the principal.
It's probably the principal. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll call him back. When you guys get here, just call me or text me.
Well, what time? We've asked like 17 times about this game, Mark, and you've been dodgy on the time and the location and everything.
No. Just be here. Be here around 7:30 on Friday.
Is this a public game? Can anyone come to it? Like, if people want to come and hang out with Frank and me and watch you coach, and they're in the Oklahoma area, could we pack the barn with Uncle Frank fans on Friday night? Okay,
yeah,
where is it?
Sure.
Where is it?
It's at the school.
What school though?
Blanchard High School.
Blanchard High School.
Yeah.
Friday night. What time?
7:30.
Can you get tickets at the door?
You can get tickets at the door, I believe.
Is it going to be sold out? Is it going to be sold out?
No.
Okay.
It's Elk City. Elk City.
I didn't know it's a high school game.
Okay.
Blanchard High School, Blanchard, Oklahoma, Friday night, 7:30. Frank and I will be there. Jeffries will be throwing chairs from the bench.
And if the fans show up, we're going to be the loudest cheerleading squad in that high school's history.
Very cool.
Troy is saying you're fired for sure. All right, we're gonna let you go, Mark.
All right, man. Frank, great to see you. Can't wait to see you in person here in a couple days, man.
Dude, I can't thank you enough for all you've done.
All right, you guys rock. Thanks, Matt.
All right, see you, Mark.
All right,
thanks, bud.
Frank Sal said he just bought his plane ticket for Friday night. Said Mark is not Bobby Knight. I do believe at one point in the past decade there was a chair throwing incident with Mark Jeffries.
I can't imagine that.
I
can't imagine that.
But you know how kids are susceptible to like peer pressure, Frank?
Oh, absolutely.
So like they kind of imitate what they see.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was a point where Jeffries was reading a lot of Bobby Knight books. And I'm not kidding. I think that the incident may have paralleled like chapter 7.
Oh, so it's like copycat.
Kind of like the kids who do like the gritty after they score the touchdowns now because they see it on. I think Jeffries may have chucked the chair.
That okay. Well, sometimes you got to get their attention. That's all I can say on that.
All right. Go back to that other map. I didn't want to rush you through the pinch point thing, but I also didn't want to rush the didn't want Jeffries to.
No, dude, I got to tell you guys, Mark and I go way back to my beginning days of Bassmasters, and to have the opportunity to work with him in this venue before he retired was absolutely fantastic. To be able to carry on with Matt is equally as good, and I am so grateful and so glad to be here. The audience, I love you guys. Yeah, you make the show. You keep me motivated to keep new information coming, and to try to better the game every time we do a deep dive. I try to get better and better at it, to give you more and more info, because at the end of the day, I can give you a waypoint, and that's not going to help you. You might catch fish for that day, but you won't know why the fish were there, how they got there, where they're going when they leave there. This information gives you the ability to dial in, hone in on fish on any lake in the country, and it will make you a better fisherman. And that's really what it's all about, actually.
What's that? All right, pinch points.
All right. So basically, the pinch point, it's really easy. It funnels fish into a tight, confined area. It makes them easier to find and easier to catch. These particular areas are something that I often look for, especially in the winter, because you have feeding zones, you have shallow water feeding zones, and you have deep suspending zones where they can be all within a small confined area. So really, this is a high percentage area. They all don't produce, but when you find the right one, it's money.
And that map is going to who?
This map is going to Mark Barron.
All right.
Baran.
I was able to put up a scrolling banner. It said, "Meet Frank and cheer on Mark Jeffrey's basketball team, Blanchard High School, Friday, January 27th at 7:30 p.m. Central Time." And then I almost put BYOB, but it is. It is a high school event.
Yeah,
so
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't think we're gonna get to do that.
No, but we should probably reinforce. Did we do the codes and stuff?
Yeah, we haven't done anything, dude. We're still 47 minutes in, so we usually take care of odds and ends. We'll take care of odds and ends now. All right,
let's do this.
Here's what's going on, folks. Really cool stuff. This is a big shout out to the guys at Pradco, the guys at LureNet, and Frank for making this happen. And this is the only reason this is happening, legitimately, is because of the feedback and the response of the Day 4 fans that the suits have seen, right?
Right. And this is like a fan appreciation deal. So should I just go, or
we're doing use code. Is that still pulled up over there for you, or is it
Yeah, but it goes on and off. So, but I have the info.
Okay. Right, yeah. I've got the BTL 100 code pulled up right now as a scrolling banner.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. So the first discount applies, and this is for 1 week only. Capital BTL 100. This is a 20% discount code. Now, this discount code won't apply to other things that are on sale.
Yeah, but if you want to go in and buy some,
right? If you want to go get some forward-facing minnows or some hard knockers and one knockers, it applies. It won't apply to the color number 7. Sorry guys, but that was done way before this code came out, so that won't apply. But the BTL code, BTL 100, all caps, 20% off. Now pay attention to this. It's from January 26th to February 2nd. Is 20% off with the capital BTL 100 code. And to show really the fan appreciation, because you guys are very responsive. You pay attention to the show. After February 2nd, from February 3rd until June 30th, this is the loyal listener program. Same code, BTL 100, and it'll be 15% off from February 3rd to June 30th.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So that works on like the Flash Mob Junior kits and all that stuff.
Everything. Yeah, everything unless it's on sale.
So 20% this week.
20% this week only.
2nd, excluding color number 7.
Correct. Except
which, who knows? And then starting after February 2nd, 15% off through June 30th.
Through June 30th.
BTL, capital B, capital T, capital L, 100.
100. And that's for you guys for following the show and for all the input you bring in.
All right. Next, color number 7, limited run. There's 300 of them. or 298 now since you pulled these two?
No, I took those off the run.
Okay.
So there's
not that many.
There's not that many. There's a lot of them, but there's not that many. You gonna announce it?
Yeah, well, I'm on lurenet.com and I don't see it yet, but it will there. Where will it? Do you know where it'll be on lurenet? Hopefully they got this dialed in, or else they're gonna have
it's gonna be dialed in.
Pitchforks and what is that where you got the
it's not gonna be, they're not gonna be available to you guys until 11 o'clock Central Time. Noon Eastern. 11 o'clock Central, noon Eastern.
But do you know where on the LureNet site?
Oh, you won't miss it. Go to the homepage. You won't miss it.
And right at 11, that'll pop up.
At 11 o'clock, that's popping up.
Okay, because like I go to lurenet.com and it's still the hard knocker and one knocker exclusive colors. So I mean, if you're just doing that, you don't have to like go to anything else. You'll see it on the main page.
Yes, you're going to see it. You'll find it.
But Steven is saying LureNet site is going to crash at 11 o'clock Central Time.
No, it'll crash at 11:03. It's not. Trust me, it's going to be there. This is for you guys. It's not announced to the public. You guys got first crack.
That's why they don't have it up on the site, so random people can't be like, "Oh, I like it." That's why we're announcing it now and then at 11.
100%.
Boom.
Yeah, you're on right on the money.
So what we tried to do, especially with that time, obviously the show was over, but like East Coast lunch break, if you have to have someone else on there for you, it's the most applicable time. I know we had some people that were like, "Yeah, I can't get on."
Right.
And that sucks for you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I tried, like, I was like, hey, can we do like multiple drops at different times and all that? And then it just got too complicated. So we're like dropping them at 11, depending on how this goes. RIP LureNet server. Depending on how this goes, the hope is to have more eventually.
Yes.
But just like it took a year and a half to get them this time, we're not exactly sure when.
Right. You just got to just bear with it. They're going to be available 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, lurenet.com.
Do you want one with or without hooks? You want to just, I'm going to have you go through the bait in detail again, but you probably want the one without hooks.
I don't care if it's got hooks.
Yeah, screw it. That could turn into a real interesting game.
It could be good.
Hey, hook removal. Show 100. Good. All right. We went through the story last week briefly. Jeffrey's catastrophic injury, fell, hit his head, came back to BTL, was every bit of Jeffrey's that he was. I made a joke, said something to the effect of, well, I was afraid you were going to come back and say your favorite color was 7. Jeffrey's had been, because it was just the way it worked out. It was funny. Jeffrey's had also funny. Yeah. But in 20 seconds, he'd also been fishing with some weird colored spooks. We have them, if you can see the hats on the top here. We got like orange in it and purple and yellow and all sorts of weird BTL colors that he's done in the past. So Frank paying homage to it with a custom color.
Right. And so when that show happened, Mark was talking about some crazy orange catfish bait. You guys know the story. You've heard it 1,000 times. Some crazy orange catfish bait that looked like a spook. At any rate, then Matt had mentioned oh my gosh, I was afraid you were going to come back and go, oh, my favorite color 7. And then once, I think Peter Long typed in the comments, make a color 7. I don't know how many guys did that or what, because I don't watch the comments on the screen because I can't pay attention to everything at once. So anyway, however it happened, it happened. So when I designed the color, Mark's retirement was being taken into consideration, and he was 17 years doing this. So if you notice all the orange all the orange herringbone and then the orange lateral line, there's 17 of them. There's 17 of them. The chin has the red color 7 on it. And there's a little bit of purple and stuff on the sides, purple pearls, some metallics on the sides. But when I did the bait, I wanted a bait that could actually be fishable as well. So I kind of designed the whole thing around everything. I wanted a bait that could catch fish, but that would have all the representations of, Mark Jeffries and everything that he had done up to this point. And that's how the Color 7 was born and created.
Listen, this is not your doing to be like, hey, let's do a limited run of them. Because Anthony, there's a lot of people here that are doing the math. They're like, well, there's 635 watching and there's around 300 baits available. I think we're going to have an issue.
Well, we're going to have an issue because they're going to be gone, but that doesn't mean they're not coming back. Yeah. That doesn't mean they won't be in the line. You have to understand something in the tackle industry because here's the deal. I got involved in the creation of colors and baits, etc., because of my love for the sport. In the beginning of all this, I had no idea what it took to get a product from start to finish. All I knew is that I had a color or an idea and I wanted to see it made and didn't know all the in-betweens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so what happened is, as I got involved in actually making these products, you guys don't have a clue how much has to go into the development of a product. It takes a long time. It's not a willy-nilly thing. You have to take costs, for example, into play, where it's going to be made, how it's being painted. There's just a million things, and it takes time to get out there. If a product comes in the market, I think the fastest product to date that I've seen come into play was probably the Norman Speed N. We had workable painted prototypes within 9 or 10 months. But after the Classic, what Stetson was catching all those fish on it, after the Classic, we couldn't get them into the stores for another 6 or 7 months, just because you have to make the entire inventory for a load in. And so it takes time. So with that being said, I apologize for the time frame, but
it's become a running joke.
Well, yeah,
I mean, in a good way,
right?
Yeah, it's been awesome.
But the thing is that now that it's all sourced and now that it's all done, we can get them in the system much quicker.
Yeah.
So you don't have.
Hopefully they'll be back in. Now, as far as like a limit to buy, like I would hope that, like basically you probably don't have a chance to ever win anything on BTL if all of a sudden your name is associated with eBay color number 7s by tomorrow. You see what I'm saying there?
Right.
Like we could put 2 and 2 together.
Right. 100%.
I mean, like ideally, grab 1, grab 2, they'll be back around.
Yeah, they're right. Get them while they're here and don't be greedy right now because there'll be time for greed later.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. I've watched guys walk into tackle shops and just the old 2-finger slide.
Dude, I do it all the time. I get a color that I like.
But that's also more to keep other people from throwing it in a tournament.
Correct.
So than just
correct. That's a defensive move mostly. Yeah. Except
I watched a guy buy. Like 95 DT6s one time because this was a long time ago. I vividly remember this was before like you could just buy them online and get them.
Right.
And he got in and I was rooming with him and he went to every single store
within the vicinity of the lake.
Within the vicinity of the lake that would have DT6s and he bought every single one of them.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think he missed a check.
Well, yeah, because that's how it always happens.
Yeah. And he didn't do it to use them. He had his.
Right.
He was prepared.
He did it to stop.
He just didn't want
people.
anyone else to have the DT6s.
Right. But oddly enough, anybody who fishes a lot knows patterns can change in a second. Color preferences could change in a second. And you may think you have it all figured out. Something changes. And then next thing you know, you're doing something you didn't even plan on doing in the tournament to catch them.
How did Kyle know that? He said, was that Oneida, Matt? Yeah, that was Oneida.
Well, because it was probably evident or he was there and couldn't find any.
All right. We're an hour in. I think it's time to give away another one-of-a-kind custom Frank Scalish BTL Day 4 scene drawing. Here's your pointer if you want to go over that first.
I know exactly what this map's from because it's a recent map. This is the Hard Knocker One Knocker location map.
Oh.
And this is actually a spot that I mentioned on the last show. This is actually a real spot that I fish on Gunnersville.
Oh, yeah, which I couldn't guess. I thought I knew where it was.
Right.
I wasn't even in the right zip code.
Nope. It's a tricky location, but it's a beautiful spot. It's got your shell beds. It's got your stumps, your broken grass. It's got a couple of ditches running in it from the feeder streams. So this map is going to get ready to go. Are you scrolling?
Huh? Oh, I was kind of mesmerized by the fact that my circle light has a remote. And like I can make it brighter, and I can.
Well, why are you doing that?
I'm looking at the comments. The comments go nuts because that's how we're picking the comments.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit more recent. Probably one of the last 150 comments. You can see I'm scrolling,
and he's staring at me, not to scroll. And stop.
Wait a second.
What?
Who won the first one?
The first one was
dude. We got a diehard day 4 listener, Sean Lai.
Oh,
Sean's always on. Sean, you won it.
Sean, you get the BOOYAH One Knocker map. Sean Lai, where's the pencil? The pen.
Oh, over here. I'm a nervous pen clicker. So I cannot use pencils.
And we found out from the last episode.
No, here's the problem.
Sweat.
What happens when you hit this 700 times? It
the
feeds all the
out.
lead out of the pencil. So we're down to one piece of lead.
Okay, Sean. I'm writing on the.
I swear that wasn't rigged. Sean's always odd asking questions. That's just karma.
L-E-I?
L-A-I.
L-A-I.
S-H-A-W-N.
Well, I'm glad he won because every episode.
Sean's always on asking questions.
He's always on.
Yeah.
And I only know that because you scroll the answers at the bottom of the computer for me.
Yeah.
The people's comments at the bottom of the computer, because as everybody watching this show knows,
he said, "Thanks, Uncle Frank."
All right.
Look at that. All the other BTL regulars congratulating Sean on his.
That is money.
On his win. How do you want to do the hard knocker, one knocker giveaway?
That's another trick.
Because I think this is how we should do it.
You talking?
We're giving away just basic stuff in this too, but there's also a bunch of people that I've seen on social media that have been sporting. You have the long sleeve on.
The long sleeve. The
day 4 loaded to the cork shirts.
Right on.
Right.
Okay, so talk to me because I like where you're going.
So here's the deal: if you tag me and Uncle Frank on Instagram, or I guess you can tag on Facebook. You have a Facebook page?
Yeah, I don't go on.
You're
Facebook
mainly an Instagram guy.
Yeah, I'm mostly Instagram.
You want to give it away? We'll give it 2 weeks.
What like your?
Let me have that pen back.
Your best day 4?
No, you got to tag your day 4 merch.
Yeah, your best day 4 merch picture.
Yeah. I mean, you could be like cooking a steak. You don't have to be fishing or anything.
No, you don't have to be fishing.
But that's a way to be like, hey, thanks for helping out with the merch. And if you do 2 weeks, I think you can get your merch before then.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So tag it, and then Frank on the February 10th show,
we'll announce it, and you'll get a whole set. One knockers, hard knockers, halves and quarters, 24 baits. It's about $200 value.
You did send out the previous set?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I sent them out noon that day after the show.
All right, let's do just a classic day 4 question. Noble Newton would like to know, Uncle Frank, what's the best way to help one of my buddies start fishing?
Buy him golf clubs. The best way to help somebody start fishing is to take them somewhere where they can catch fish. And it really doesn't matter what they're catching, as long as they're catching fish. That's the whole trick with kids. Kids don't care. They just want to catch something and keep it fun. Don't like, if you can fish for 12 hours, don't assume a guy who doesn't fish is going to sit in a boat with you for 12 hours, because he's not going to.
Real quick, Ronnie, that's a great point. He said some of us old farts don't have Facebook or Instagram. If you have email, you can also email me a picture of you wearing your day 4 swag, matt@basszone.com. You'll also be entered into it. So if you're watching it on the computer, I assume you're at least savvy enough to be able to send a picture on email.
Right.
Shoot that email. That way you don't have to, if you're not into the social media stuff.
That's perfect.
That way you can email it to me, and then I'll just send the pictures to Frank, and Frank's going to subjectively pick the picture that he likes best, or the guy that's tagged in it he likes best. So the more creative and out of the walls you get, probably the better chance you have it.
Right. We did that with what the heck did we do that with?
We did it with something with tagging. All right, sorry. Back to your
okay.
So
getting this dude into fishing, or helping him fish better. What was the question again? Do you recall?
His buddy wants to get into fishing. How does he help him get into fishing?
Oh, okay. So he's interested in the sport already. You got to find out where his, what direction he wants to go with it. Does he want to fish for multi-species, just bass, just crappie? Find out what he wants to fish. And then when you're picking out equipment for him, because this is really where the big issue lies. When you're picking out equipment for somebody who's just starting out, what I say is you need a multi-purpose rod. You need a rod that can cover 3 or 4 different functions, because no beginner is going to sit there and buy a separate rod and reel for this lure, for that presentation. So you want to get them multi-purpose stuff. So you should get them a good spinning rod, get them a decent bait caster. Like I like the Powell 764. That's a multi-purpose rod. You could throw spinner baits, top waters, chatterbaits, Carolina rigs. You could do a lot with that rod. So that's a multi-purpose tool. And so keep it easy for them in the beginning. As they progress into the sport, they'll start to, on their own, dial down, what specific rods and reels they want for what different techniques. That's the easiest way to go about it.
All right. Here's what I want to do with this. I was trying to think. I wanted to get some of the best stories. And when we gave away the last set of hard knockers and one knockers, I thought it was really cool how many of the listeners brought up stories that you've told over the years. That's kind of what you're known for.
Right.
Are the stories loaded to the cork. Whoosh. Whoosh,
it's easy for me. I'm a genius.
So here's what we're going to do. If you have a story that you would like Uncle Frank to retell in all of its glory on the 100th episode, mention it in the comments right now.
What?
Yeah.
So wait.
All the stories you've told over the past
for
this is for the last drawing.
Did we do this color 7 yet?
We haven't done the color 7 yet. Do you want to do this for the color 7?
Yeah, let's
do that. Save it for the color 7. You want to give away the last deal, and then we'll save the story. So right now, just start writing your favorite stories, just enough to jog Frank's memory. And I'll start naming some of these stories. And whichever story Frank picks to retell on the show right now on the 100th show, that's who gets the color 7.
And that is number.
Do you want him to have number 13 or 14? Well, if you do it in congruence, you got to give him 13.
We got to go 13.
Color number 13.
Lucky number 13.
Think of the best stories from the past 100 episodes. And this probably is going to make sure it's a day 4 hardcore listener.
Oh, it will.
That gets it. But so get those down and I'll scroll through and get it. But now I'm doing random scrolling. And like I said, I'm going up, I'm going down. Give me 20, 30 seconds. Cause we're literally thousands of comments in, Frank.
Oh my gosh.
It's the craziest thing.
That's absolutely fantastic.
So what are we giving away here?
Okay.
What's this one? While I scroll, and I have no idea, like I'm already up to 917 here. So now I'm scrolling down.
We're giving away how to find winter spots in the summer by using grass to tell you where you need to be. So we're looking at dead end guts and how to find them easily in the summer. This was that winter piece I did. And
does that come with the?
Yeah, it's going to be just like this. Stop.
All right. This is a
drum roll, please.
Oh, he actually wrote this was a story, but I scrolled so far back and it was scrolling so far. So he actually had a question for the story, but it's Zach Ziroll, Ziroll,
hold on,
Zach.
You ran this thing out of lead. Zach.
I know. I told you it's a bad habit, Frank.
Okay, I got it. What?
Zach Zach Ziroll fishing. Zach Ziroll fishing. He gets the last autograph Frank Scalish map. He also has his favorite story was pulling the fence down with the extension cable. You got his name on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets that.
All right, Zach, this is you, buddy. Dead End Guts, wintertime fishing. All right.
All right. I need an intern.
But what are you going to put him in the closet then? And then
I just need an intern. He could scroll through these comments. This is good. This is awesome. Okay.
So how are we?
I'm scrolling through and I'm just going to start reading some of these questions. Someone said, and when you pick one that you're like, hey, that's my favorite, just let me know.
Okay.
Because you can't see who it is. Or anything.
I can't see anything.
If there's one that just tickles your fancy.
Oh boy.
At any time, color number 713. This is the last major giveaway of the show today.
Signed and autographed. And
we're already 11 minutes past where Frank said we are ending at an hour. I do not care because it is time to go catch a 3-pound crappie.
We have this mission today.
I said, dude, I never thought I would be the one that was like, hey, it's however long it is. Like, just chill out. We'll get there. Because I'm always the one in my life that's always been like.
Well, I'm amped up because here, look, I where I live, the biggest crappie I caught was 2 3/4 pounds, and I caught him bass fishing on a. Actually, believe it or not, I'll tell you, it was a Rebel Deep BOOYAH in the 035 color, which is an ancient bait, and anybody that's my age will know exactly what that bait is. But I was cranking stump rows in 8 feet of water, and I caught 3 of those big giant crappies doing that. And it was just, and I pitched the first 2 back. Then the third one I caught was one of the bigger ones, and I thought I had a state record. So I put it in the live well. I fished the rest of the day. I got out of the lake. I went to the tackle shop down the street that I know had certified scales, and wrapped it up and put it on the scales alive because I wanted to release it. And the guy had the scale on a file cabinet that was like 6 feet high, and he laid the big crappie on the scale, and it flopped off the scale and hit the floor. And so we picked it back up, put it on the scales. It was 2 3/4 pounds. And I missed the state record at the time. It's probably broken by now, but at the time, by a couple ounces. Wow. Well, I put the fish back in the live well, and I was driving back to the lake to release it. And it went belly up in the live well, probably from the fall. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it went belly up. I had a 125-gallon aquarium at home. So I brought it home. I tried nursing it back to health. I kept it alive for 2 days, and then it finally died. So I got it mounted.
So was yesterday that the biggest crappie you've ever held that I caught?
Yeah.
293?
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually. So and it's Frank is going to, because it's a pretty fair drive from the house, but we'll get a couple hours in. But anyway, continue. Right. So yesterday we decided we messed around all afternoon.
Right.
We got stuff ready for today. Was in no hurry to go anywhere. Stopped, grabbed some lunch, and then we were coming back. And Matt's like, "Well, it doesn't get dark for a couple hours.
Yeah, if we drive, we could get an hour of fishing.
Yeah, do you want to hoof it down to the lake?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And so we went there and we were live scoping them. I think we were using Bobby Garland's little swimmers on them, right? We
were using a variety of soft plastics. I was using some of the little jerk minnows, and you were using the FF minnow, and then we were using the pink that pink and chartreuse one, and we kept going bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we did. We kept upsizing because I put one in the boat was 207. And all I could do is laugh.
You can see it on the, you posted it on your Instagram,
it's on my Instagram.
Frank Scalish _fishing. It's on my story at Matt Pangrat.
And so all I could do is laugh. And Matt's like, just stay on the fishing rod. I'll do the live scope. And so Matt was basically doing the grunt work on keeping me on these fish and letting me catch them. So then I broke one off. There was a behemoth. I broke him off. And then I said, Matt, grab a rod, catch a few. So he grabs a rod and he goes, oh my gosh, that's a giant. He drops down there. We worked it for a little while because it was kind of finicky. And then he hooks it and it was like a 293.
In your heart of hearts, do you feel like you broke off a 3-pound crappie yesterday?
Oh yeah. Solid.
Do you also feel like you're going to catch one today?
Yes, I am 100% sure of that.
All right. You ready to close this out with the greatest
Let's try
Uncle
this.
Frank date? So the thing has been scrolling continuously. We've maintained over 600 live viewers the entire show.
Oh, thank you guys.
Let's recap. We've given away 4 one-of-a-kind Uncle Frank drawings that were seen on day 4 to viewers. Those are already done. I'll look for those emails for those 4 listeners.
Correct.
And you'll send them out. If you have day 4 merchandise, which is still available, like, listen, we make a little bit of money on this. Uncle Frank does. This all goes primarily to Uncle Frank for his
efforts and
jacked
energies.
up motor fund,
which is fixed now.
But
sort
anyway, Haynes Beefy Tea. What size is that, Uncle Frank?
2X.
2X. Large is absolutely perfect for me. They're roomier, but
yeah,
hoodies, shirts, day 4. Frank designed it. It's got the Frank Scalish signature, that little signature. So there's the Frank Scalish signature on the bottom. That is actually you loaded to the cork on a steelhead. Day 4 logo, Frank Scalish. Basszone.com, shop BTL tab. Go straight to the merchandise store. Boom. There you go.
Right. Color 7 will be available
anyway,
at 11.
So then on the February 10th show, we will give away a full set, or you will give away a full set of BOOYAH Hard Knockers and One Knockers. Correct. And all of the custom colors.
And that's for the
tag me and Uncle Frank in your DMs. Either BTL or day 4 merch. If you have, listen, there's a lot of more people also who have like a BTL hat or something like that, but tag both of us. Just as long as there's something BTL related,
we're good.
Bass Zone related, whatever it, we're good. And then Frank's going to pick his favorite picture. If you don't have the social media, Matt at basszone.com. And then on February 9th, I'll send all those.
Perfect.
To Uncle Frank, and we'll give that away. 11 o'clock Central Time.
12 o'clock Eastern Time.
Limited run on lurenet.com. Day 4, year and a half in the making.
Color number 7.
God, we're on the same page right here. We're finishing each other's sentences. It's a thing of beauty, Frank. We need to do this in person more often. I just
want to hit some crappies.
Because before we get done with this, I just wanted to wrap all this up.
Right.
Big shout out to Frankie jumping on.
Always.
Todd Bucknell.
Always.
Where can you find Todd again? Name of his place?
Hydromotive Engineering. I think he said hydromotive.com is his website.
And big shout out to Mark Jeffries for
giant shout out to Mark for
starting this.
Yes.
Starting day 4 with Frank Scalish. I think what did I take over, like episode 40 something or 50 something?
Somewhere around the mid 40s, I thought.
Well, it'd been a whole year and we did 50 a year.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Thanks to you for keeping the drive alive, man.
Well, thanks to you for continuing to have badass stories.
Always.
January 26th through, there's a lot of stuff on this. January 26th through February 2nd. And I think we're doing a good job, aren't we?
We're doing it.
BTL 100, capital BTL 100 on lurenet.com. 20% discount code does not apply to the color number 7 or anything else already on sale. But any other thing else than that, for that week, 20% off. That is a BTL listener discount code.
Correct. And then starting February 3rd to June 30th, the same code, BTL 100, will be 15% off. And so so basically this thing is going to go, this event is going to carry on all the way to the end of June. It's pretty cool.
All right. I got people saying, are we going to go live tonight spontaneously?
Well, this will be a discussion that we will discuss.
All right. you got your pencil that does or doesn't work, just make a couple notes down there on the ones. I'm going to scroll through as many of these as I can. We'll do it for a couple minutes, and I'm just going to start naming it. And like I said, when one does it, just kind of...
I'll just say stop.
You'll just say stop.
Okay.
So I guess I should scroll down
Stop.
I guess I should scroll down and randomly pick it because I have dead cow pattern, big hair photo, hooking the manatee, any Uncle Frank angry story. Jeff just wants you to name the angler that you had a beef with.
Of course he does.
Co-angler, tell us how you first got into fishing. Frank's boat
stop.
almost.
You think it's boring if I go first how I got into fishing?
Have you told that story before?
Never.
Well, I thought we were doing a story.
Okay, then.
Hey,
we'll save
it. Well, no.
Let's save it.
Save it. Let's give Brett something.
Okay, save it.
You got a hat out in the car?
Yeah.
Can you sign it?
Yeah.
Okay. Brett, this is not for the color number 7-1 knocker, but Brett Anderson, it's impressive that he said that. Tell us how you first got into fishing, because you wanted to tell this story on the show today, and I totally forgot about it. Too. I have it in my notes right here.
My notes too.
All right. So Brett, email me, matt@basszone.com. What kind of hat is it?
A water camo bomber.
Water camo bomber hat signed by Frank Scalish, headed your way for this story. But this is a new story, so it doesn't qualify for your favorite story. It might become your favorite story after this. But how did you get into fishing, Uncle Frank?
Are we doing that now?
Yeah, do it right now.
Okay. So when I always liked outdoors forever. And when I was a kid, and I'm probably going to guess and say I was probably maybe 3 or 4 years old, my aunt took me to this river by her house.
Did you run through it?
A river ran through it. Yes,
did you run through the river?
I did. And I wanted to fish so bad, but I had nothing. So she rummaged around in her purse and she found a safety pin. So I took the safety pin, I went to the garbage, and I found a partial roll of kite string. So I took the kite string and the safety clip, and I bent it up and made a hook out of it, tied the kite string to it, and actually caught creek chub. And that's really, and ever since then, I was like thoroughly addicted to fishing.
Now I feel bad for not giving Brett the day 7.
What?
Now I feel bad for not giving Brett he asked the question, but the question was your favorite Uncle Frank story, and that was just a question, right? He gets that autographed hat. We're gonna keep going. I like that. A creek chub on a safety pin.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've been addicted to fishing ever since, like a madman.
All right, the co-angler who kept throwing over Uncle Frank's shoulder in a tournament, fighting a smallmouth above his head. Everyone wants to know who you were mad at in show 99. Carp fishing in the warm water discharge with the kid, tearing a hole in your boat in Florida, guy who called you out on the radio. My favorite story is the one where he flooded his boat.
That's the same story.
Yeah. Picking up cat at the boat ramp, the radio station, Buffalo tournament win, first episode ever, muskie eating the smallmouth, the gator story. My favorite story is when Uncle Frank caught a fish off the dead cow, fishing the dead cow.
Okay. I'm going. I got it. I got it.
Where are you going?
I'm going gator.
You're going gator. All right. Who was the first person I got to go with the first person to mention the gator story. So let me go back up here and make sure.
Oh, you got a big job ahead of you, bud.
I know.
I'm going to write some notes here.
I'm just making sure that I didn't miss any gator story because I see one there. I know there were a bunch, so I'm going with the first one. Tyler, I want Frank to tell the hook and the manatee story.
Oh, man, that's funnier than hell, too.
Okay. I don't see we're up to 9:37. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay. Let me scroll down to the first gator and we will I got to get this right. Go ahead and start telling the story and then I will make sure that I have the first guy.
Okay.
This is probably your favorite story. Very early BTL Day 4 story.
Yeah, this was the dumbest thing that I ever attempted in my life, actually. So I was on Santee fishing a tournament, and I pulled into this backwater area, and there was this giant gator laying up in the grass. And I snuck up to it with my bass boat, and it was dead. So I poked it with the fishing rod, and it was dead. I grabbed it, moved it around. It was completely stone dead, just this big giant gator in this backwater area. Now, this was before the real gator story happened. So ESPN was filming a practice day with me. And this is a year later or 2 years later, they're filming a practice day with me on Santee Cooper. So I run into the same backwater area, and the camera guys are like, hey, can you drop one of us off here? We want to get you as you're coming into this backwater area, B-roll, setting everything up. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I slide the boat up on this sandbar. They get out. I come back in the backwater. They jump back in the boat after they get the footage, and I'm just practicing, just normally how I would practice. And almost in the exact same spot is a giant gator, and he's dead. And I looked at the camera guys. I said, there is absolutely no way on earth that this is like possible, because a year or so ago, I was in the same pocket and there was a dead gator in the same place. There's no way. So, and it had been cold that night. It was in the like high 30s that night. So I creep up to the gator with my bass boat, and I headbutt him with the butt of my rod. Doesn't move, doesn't flinch, doesn't open his eyes, nothing. He's just laying there. So I took the rod and I like pushed him with it, and he stayed there. So I told the camera guys, and I was trying to be funny because these guys filmed Cindy Garrison's fishing show, and Cindy used to like jump in with the marlin and do all this crazy stuff. So I thought that it would be funny if I did something crazy and jump on the alligator. So I swing the boat around and I tell the guys in the boat, now you got to realize something. I have 2 camera guys, a sound guy,
right,
and a producer in my boat with me. So this bass boat's loaded to the cork with dudes. So they're like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I said, well, I have a change of clothes in the boat. The exact clothes I'm wearing for this, I brought a change of clothes in case something happened. So we can do this. The camera guy goes, I think maybe that's not a good idea. I go, look, the thing is stone cold dead. It'll be hilarious. I'll come around the corner. I'll be like Steve Irwin and go, crikey, a gator, jump on this thing. Anyway, one of the camera guys,
that's worked out for Steve Irwin so well.
Yeah, exactly. One of the cameras in the boat looked like it was in the center of a steering wheel. And so he could put it anywhere on any object and hold the camera steady. Okay. He didn't need 2 hands to do it. He could just put one hand, and then he could move the camera however he needed to move it. Okay. So I think he called it a Manfredi. I think that's
You're on your own there.
Okay. I'm on my own there. Anyway, so he's laying down on the boat by the little hole in the boat. He's laying there and his thing is almost on the rod locker. So he's focused on the alligator. So, and the other guy's shooting standing up. So we got 2 different angles of it. So he goes, what's going to be the clue? So I said, okay, so what I'm going to do is go, oh my gosh, there's an alligator. And then give it like a 3 count, and I'm going to jump on this thing. So we slide the boat around. I start fishing, doing my thing. And I go, oh my gosh, there's an alligator. And the guy that was laying on the deck of the boat goes, stop, it moved. And I'm like, dude, it didn't move. It didn't move. And so I poke it with the butt of my rod again, and it's still sitting there. It didn't move. So I go, okay, we're going to do it one more time. So we spin the boat around. We're doing it again. I'm approaching the thing and I'm flipping. I'm doing exactly what I did before. And I go, oh my gosh, there's an alligator. And I dropped the rod on the deck of the boat. And you know how you right before you're going to jump, you get tensed up and you're going to jump. Well, I'm literally almost right next to this alligator. So all I have to do almost is fall out of the boat on top of it.
Right.
Okay. So I go, oh my God, an alligator, drop the rod, and I get tensed up, and this thing goes kaboosh out of the water, slams into the side of the boat, takes off. My boat's going like this, and I go, just like that, dude. I was like, oh my God, the thing was alive, right? So it would have been.
You'd have jumped on a live 10-foot alligator, and everyone would have been like,
I would have freaked the living hell out. Okay. So anyhow, dude, I'm telling you guys, it was the thing slammed so hard into the boat, it almost knocked me in the water. So here's what happens. This clip ran on a Bassmaster show, and I don't remember which one, but all they got is they got me making a flip, reeling it in, dropping the rod on the deck of the boat, and this alligator just splash, and me going like that into the camera, and that's the clip they played.
That's awesome,
dude. I was like, all because I thought I was going to be smart, because Cindy jumped in with a marlin, so I thought I would be smart. So dumb.
Kirk Blackadar, KIRK BLACKADAR. Shoot me an email, matt@basszone.com. This one right here that I'm holding in my hands, color number 7 first production. There are 8 original painted color number 7s. That's true because I've got number 8 right here. Signed and dated. If you guys are wondering what's on the tip of my finger, that's a
bandage.
Serrated knife.
That's a money shot.
That's a serrated knife that do not clean it blade first. And boy, that bled a lot. There are 8 original painted color number 7 signed and dated number 1 through number 8. 6 first run color 7 signed and dated 9 through 14. This is number 13 right here.
Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13. Kirk, that is yours. Hey, Kirk.
Outstanding.
Take that. Wrap Kirk's name around that. Guys, could not do this without the support of the viewers and listeners. Love every single day for story, comment. I mean, dude, it's cool. It's like we've created like a giant family here.
It's a beautiful thing. This is a lot of fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I appreciate you guys very much for all that you do.
Less than an hour. 11 o'clock Central Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time, lurenet.com, day 4 limited run drops. We went through all the other stuff. We're not going to go through it again. We've had everybody who's stuck around here. Greatly appreciate the support of day 4. If you are watching this right now, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube.
On the YouTube reply.
Yeah, there's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you did not enjoy today's show, there's your opportunity to voice your displeasure. I'm the only one who sees it. I can tell what percentage.
We have bats in the belfry.
Yeah, no, that was weird. A door just opened.
A random door.
That was very closed.
This studio is haunted.
It was very closed. Don't say that. I freak out. Studio's in my house, man.
All right, your house is haunted.
No, it's not. Don't say that. You can't say that. The house is not. It's very.
It's
very
not.
stable.
It's very comforting.
I don't even know where we were.
It's haunted.
I don't even know where the hell we were.
Get out.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna go into such a good close, and then a door moved that was, like I said, very clearly closed.
It was very clearly closed.
Thanks for everybody for stopping by. We're headed to the lake after this, after we get everything up. This has been, I've been waiting to say this for a long time. This has been show number 100 of day 4 with the man, Frank Scalish.
100. Thank you all very much.
We'll see everyone next week for show 101.
We start over.
Later.